What is up, you guys, and welcome to this beautiful and abundant channel. It is Mama Manifests here. My name is Carly, though. That was the name I was given at birth. I'm a Pleiadian starseed. I'm an intuitive empath. I'm a tarot, oracle, and energy interpreter. But most importantly, I'm a soul that loves to just help other souls move through their life journey like I've been helped by so many others. All right, you guys, you know the deal, or if you're new, maybe you don't, and that's why I'm going to tell it to you. So this is just an overall reading, no zodiac specific. If you clicked on it, it's a message for you. I like to open myself up almost daily for some messages to come through for whoever needs it most in that moment. That's the intention here. Okay, you guys, so if you clicked on it, build that trust with yourself. It's for a reason. Wait for that negative wisdom and enjoy yourself. Take a couple deep breaths, relax, and let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first oracle I wanted to use today, that I felt guided to use today, because in my reading, we are definitely talking about the Divine Feminine, the reading that I did before this, like the daily reading out of a book. And this is the Divine Feminine Oracle. And I just thought it would be beautiful to open it up. There's wonderful affirmations on here. And maybe if you feel called to, you can write them down and repeat them to yourself as you move throughout the next day, week. Let's see here. The Enlightened Feminine, okay? My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. And this is so funny because what my reading was all about today was going against the grain. We are so indoctrinated in what society thinks we should be doing that a lot of the times we just kind of go with that flow, right? Going against our own instinct. And this, a lot of us have our own, whether you're male or female. I know that my toxic masculine was in the driver's seat for most of my life, even though I am, a female biologically. Or whatever. So here's the thing, you guys, like trusting yourself usually is going to be against either what, other people around you think you should be doing, what society thinks you should be doing. It's usually, your gut instinct usually will have some opposition as you're learning how to trust it, because when we first start exercising our intuition, we're usually surrounded by people who are in the same spot that we're in. There's nothing wrong with them, you, any of it. But that's just the process of building that trust with ourselves and growing our intuition and trusting our intuition. Okay, so I just love this. It's like everything's a circle right now, wrapping back up around, but definitely, so let's say it again together. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. And so moving into like the messages coming through here, there is something that you need to trust yourself on, right? And it's coming through strong that there is opposition there for you, right? Like there's another voice, right? Your logical mind, other people around you, what your programmed beliefs may be telling you, with an opposing idea of what, how to move forward. And it's really a moment for you. It's in these moments that we really break through. We break through our own barriers, the barriers that are in between us and our most authentic and fulfilled life. So this is really exciting, okay? But if you do feel like, you have opposition around you, it's acknowledging, the divine is acknowledging that you definitely do. And here's a moment where you get to trust yourself, okay? Because that's the right way to go. It's always the right way to go. Sometimes, and I talk about this a lot, our intuition leads us, we'll take them. Our intuition leads us into maybe not so desirable circumstances, but it was leading you to a lesson that you needed to learn, right? Like it's not, you get what I'm saying here. Y'all are smart, okay? So what other affirmation do we have today? I love this. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. And this is becoming more and more true for me. Like I'm understanding this more and more every single day. It's like when we judge ourselves, we find ourselves judging others, and it's just not a great feeling. Okay, so this whole path is learning about unconditional love for ourselves, right? Because here's the thing, you guys, every human being we're the same. And we have this mentality, and it's the ego, and it's a way that we've been protecting ourselves and making ourselves feel superior to others, that, you know, well, I haven't done this, or you have done that, so I am better than you, you know. And I think realizing and understanding that we all have different life paths, we all have different lessons, but we're all, just given any set of circumstances, you don't know how you would react. So we best not judge how others are moving and doing the best they can through their life and the tools that they've been given and the belief systems that they grew up with and the environments. You just really never know. And so when we're judging somebody else's shadow, or, you know, making, you know, it's an illusion, making, I'm going to put that in quotes, making ourselves feel superior because of somebody else's shadow, we're actually judging ourselves. Because as you get into like all of the metaphysical teachings of it, we're all connected, or even scientific, the fabric of existence, we are all connected. So when we cast judge, I mean, it sounds so, I don't know, I feel like it sounds so watered down and you know, like, oh yeah, I've heard this before, but it's pretty literal, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like, as we face our own shadow, we gain empathy for other people, right? What they may have been feeling, what they've been going through, and that's just this whole process, right? So I don't know. It's just beautiful. So there's another affirmation. Unconditional love exists within me. And it does. It exists within all of us. The presence of love is the absence of judgment, right? Like, and it's very simple. It's like, it really is. Like I said, I'm finding that to be more true every single day. I love this. I love this. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. So many times in life, or we see, or I've even done it, you've been hurt, right? We get hurt, right? Because, you know, if we don't have knowledge, right, on how to do things a better way, which most of humanity hasn't, we go around hurting other people. And that's just the way it is. And again, without judgment. But a lot of the times when we're hurt, we can want that retaliation. We can want, you know, that another person or the person who hurt us to hurt just as badly. And we choose to not become more love, right? We can choose. Like, the more adversity we've faced in our life, I believe the more ability we have and capacity we have to hold love in our hearts, okay? But we can, of course, choose to become the opposite of love and like live in fear and take things into our own hands. And that's just really the lack of trust that there is a judicial system. I don't want to get too much into this, but there's a balancing system within our universe. And it's when we try to intervene that we create I can just say, and we create more of a mess for ourselves. It's when we surrender, right, that everything will be balanced, okay? This is a big message for some of you. I feel some of you strongly coming through. It's like you just want justice. And I understand that. I understand that. But there is a natural justice system within the universe that exists that moves with unconditional love. It's for everybody's liberation. It's not only for your own liberation, but it's for others' liberation. And some of you are really viewing circumstances as there's this victim mentality. Don't get mad at me. We all have a victim within us, every single human being, because I just got done talking about how we're all a lot more alike than we are different. Because you're viewing these situations that have happened to you, right, instead of happening for you. And this message comes through a lot in my readings. Everything's happening for your own freedom. As much as you may be looking around right now and be like, how much more can I handle? I didn't sign up for this. Actually you did, but we're not going to get into that right now. So let's get a couple more oracle messages from the Work Your Light. You guys know, who come here often, who frequent Mama Manifests. No, I love this deck. I'm just connected with it. I need to get the Starseed Oracle. Okay. I love this. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone, right? Yeah, set an intention. If you guys are feeling lonely, you know, ask. Make it your intention to call in people who mirror back to you the loving side of yourself as opposed to the fearful side of yourself. Okay? What else do we have here today? Anything else for this reading today? Come on. All right, yeah, dance. Do something to shift your vibration. So this message kind of came out yesterday. I told you guys to stretch a little bit. But yeah, it's saying move your body, move around, and that's going to do more for you than sitting there and overthinking the situation. Move around. You're going to get rid of, sometimes energy lies within us, and it's sitting there because there's certain aspects of our muscles. We have a lot of muscles, and when we don't move them, the energy just sits there. Some of you just need to move around and move through this energy, and you'll see things from a completely different perspective. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit deeper today because I'm feeling like it. And we'll see what other messages are coming through today. Take a sip of water. If you guys have some water, I encourage you to do the same. All right. Let's get one more shuffle here, and then we'll cut the deck. All right. Okay. Yeah. So defend, we have the 7 of Wands, and so right at the center here, you guys definitely feel there's like just a lot of like tension. There's a lot of passion. You guys have a lot of passion moving forward with, you know, your path, but you feel like you have to defend your beliefs. Here's the thing. You don't actually have to defend your beliefs. I know you're seeking maybe the approval of others, or you're seeking for other people around you to see things from your perspective, right? Because subconsciously you're looking for their permission to trust your intuition. You might not get it, you guys, okay? Here's the thing. It's saying trust yourself and stand up for what you believe in, but you don't need to convince anybody else to believe what you believe. Yeah, I love this. Like, you're very... we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I feel like that's you guys. You know, you're, whether or not, you know, other people are trying to make you feel like whatever they're projecting onto you, you're coming through as a very nurturing, loving, and grounded soul. So, you know, when we have that and we remember that about ourselves, and we see ourselves for the work that we have done, because I see that you guys have done a lot of work here to come in as the Queen of Pentacles. You have to do a certain amount of work, right? And that's how you guys are coming in. But sometimes when we're around situations that are mirroring back fearful energy, if they're not feeling grounded and we're looking for their approval, we're not going to feel grounded. And so it's this big circle of chaos. I want to remind you guys, and the strongest message coming through here off of this Queen of Pentacles is that you guys need to trust yourself, because you guys are very, very grounded, stable individual. Okay, trust yourself. You're an example. You're leading by example, right? You don't need to tell people what you're doing, but you're leading by example. They're watching. They're getting inspired, whether they acknowledge it or not. Trusting your intuition. Okay, this is all a big lesson about that. It is. I didn't know what was going to come through today, but it's like the overall message here is about you trusting yourself. It's coming out at the foundation here in the past, you know. And that's what I feel. There's been a lot of instability. This is the whole story. This is your life story. Whoever I'm reading for right now, this is your life story. There's been a lot of instability in your past. Okay, you may have not made the best decisions in the past, right? But you've done all of this work, and now you are somebody who is a leader, right? Like, the people around you can really learn a lot from you, whether they choose to believe that or not right now, because you may have played the role of a scapegoat. You know, I think we've talked about this before, where and that's uncomfortable for those around you. But this is a big lesson for you, because for your life purpose, and I don't want to get too much out of like what you're experiencing right now, but to connect you to your life purpose and what you need to do, you need to be somebody who trusts yourself above all, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're in a room and 20 people and they have 20 people, and the other 20 people are telling you it's one way, and you believe from the bottom of your heart that it's another way, you need to be somebody who goes with your own gut. It's incredibly important for the future timelines. Even though time is an illusion, this is preparation. So yes, you're getting to this point and you're going through something. I don't know what this is. There's a situation here, and you need to trust yourself above all else, okay? Trust yourself. There's opposing ideas coming through. There's a projection that you're not stable. You need to trust that you've done the work, you're stable, okay? And this is huge. It's huge. In the past energy, this ego card, it's the devil energy, okay? And it's just fear. It's fear. I don't know how else to put it. It's fear. It's you listening to fear as opposed to faith, okay? And this is where you're coming from, okay? So when we're this is a strong energy, you guys. When we're breaking away from fear-based energy, and we've lived there for our entire life, it's not going to happen overnight. So if you guys feel like you've been through this cycle before, or you've heard this message before, you probably have, right? But you're moving to another level of trusting yourself and intuition, and moving further away from this energy. Because, there was a time when, I felt like it took me so long to break away from this energy. Not to say that I don't still deal with it, but I feel so far away from it. And I want you guys to be easy on yourself, and therefore easy, because here's the thing, when we go into this protection mode, we start to judge those around us. And that's something to ask yourself. And it's nothing, this is just how human beings respond. And I'm trying to help you guys understand what's happening here. When we're trying to, it doesn't necessarily need to be, I'm trying to put this into words, it's very complex, but it doesn't necessarily need to be I'm right and they're wrong, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be like that. And if you're defending your own beliefs and doing what you believe in, you don't necessarily need to find the error or fault in the way those around you are thinking or feeling. You can just do your own thing and mind your own business, right? Because what happens is when we get in our own, like, I'm right and they're wrong, and we start to judge them. What did I say and how did I open up this reading? What was in the beginning? Like, when we judge other people, it's like a rebound effect where that energy comes straight back to us. So it's like this divine balancing act of a dance of just kind of like doing our own thing, not looking for the approval of others, and not judging others for where they are in life. And I hope this message is translating, because this is kind of like an insidious energy, and it can be, and it's very intricate to break away from it, especially if we've been, like I said, there for the majority of our lives. And that's one of the ways that I've seen the devil energy really in my life, right? Like, it's like, okay, I'm trusting myself, but now I need to convince my own brain, which is like, a form of the ego. I need to convince my own brain and judge what everybody else is doing to make it okay. And it's still this ego dance. Does that make sense? It's like it's like completely not paying attention to what anybody else is doing, not judging them. And it's a form of validation if you're doing it that way. And I hope that makes sense. Okay. Wow. Yep. This is like that long cycle. I feel this very long energy. Okay. You guys may feel like you've been dancing with the devil, for a long time. And it's like, am I ever going to break away? I know exactly this moment. On the journey, I get this moment. It's like when you're questioning, like, if this ever is going to end, like if healing is really possible. I knew I felt like called to go deep today. If healing is really possible. And yes, I think our ego wants to put certain timelines on when we should be completely healed or unhealed or whatever, and that's just the ego, right? It does take a second. Think about all of the adverse circumstances and all of the trauma and all of the conflict that you've been a part of, witnessed, that's been going on in your world and outside of your world on a world scale in general. It takes a second. But I love this coming out, crowning the energy, because it is saying it's the end and there is change coming, right? It's the end of this, and you need, you know, trust yourself as you move through it. You're stable, okay? Okay, so we have this, we're letting go, okay? So there's some sadness here, okay? It says crying over spilled milk. I feel like that's like, you know, I get it. I feel like we're kind of focusing on the things that didn't work out instead of moving forward, right? Like instead of seeing in front of us. Let me take a deep breath here. Yeah, you guys are definitely trying to get somebody else to see things from your perspective, whether you guys realize it or not. There's like this need for your own ego to gain this approval, for them to kind of see it and come with you. And I get it. It's almost like you want the best for everybody. I get that. But like there's this level of surrender and acceptance that is necessary here. Is so necessary here, because it's not, it maybe it doesn't look that way right now. Maybe this person or persons are not going to see it from this perspective right now. Focus on how grateful you are to see things from a higher perspective. Focus on how grateful you are to be in touch with the divine, to be able to live and choose faith and love over fear. Even though sometimes it may be challenging, think about how much true freedom and fulfillment it has brought you, because I can feel the ego energy here trying to convince you that you haven't come so far on this journey. I can hear it, I can feel it, and that's not the truth. So often, you know, it seems so convincing. This energy is so convincing, that fear-based energy. And at the end of the day, this is something that is unhealed within you guys, that you guys are now having the opportunity to look at. Okay? Just a perspective shift here, right? Focusing on how far you've come. There's just a lot of fear. I get it. Okay, let's see what else we have going on here. I love this. Okay. Yeah, you guys definitely, again, I don't, you know, you guys are on a path of victory here right now, but there is like this another weird ego message coming through. And don't get mad at me, you guys. Like, I'm just keeping it real. And this isn't anything that I haven't gone through or, you know, may still go through, right? Like, it's just, I just want to help you guys see things and look past, you know, this filter that it seems like things are going through right now. And again, what's coming through here is the need for and I understand when we care and respect people deeply, we definitely look for their validation. We want it. And I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong or right. Like, I don't know. I don't like wrong, right. I don't like good, bad. But it's to the point where it's holding you guys back. Again, like, I don't know how to, I mean, I keep feeling like I'm repeating myself, but there's like this need for other people to get it, to see you for how far you've come, because it's only if they see it that you're going to truly believe it. And I have to tell you guys that until you believe it, without the need of anybody else's approval, nobody else is going to be able to see it. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is it's not going to happen. You have to develop that within yourself. And then it'll come later, I promise. Okay? I love this. Okay. Yeah, there's it's like these are really good cards, but like how they're coming through, like, and I don't like to say good or bad, I just did, whatever. But yeah, there's like this, you guys are really holding on tightly. You guys want to control the situation because that's what fear-based energy does, because you want to make sure everything's going to turn out perfectly. And it's just a moment of like trusting the universe and completely surrendering. It's a new level. If you think you've reached the capacity of like the level of surrender that you could, this message is coming through and saying you haven't, right? There's no, I don't think there's a cap on how much we can surrender. You know, I've surrendered to situations in the past and be like, wow, you know, there's no situation that can come in and that, you know, I won't be able to surrender to. And then, you know, it happens. This is a new level of surrender. Let go. Let go. Because another message coming through here, because I know the past couple ones have been a little bit hard on this ego here. You have a lot of rewards that want to make their way into your life, like rewards, like good energy, beneficial energy, benevolent energy, blessings. Let's just put it that way. There are blessings waiting. You know, just imagine you're in this bubble and you're in a bubble of control, right? And nothing can get in that bubble because it's like repelling all that is, because the universe is like, hey, if you got it, then we're good. You know, it seems like you got it over there. You don't need our help, right? And so it's like goes against this bubble. You're being asked right now to really get into your feminine energy, okay? Your receiving mode energy, okay? Like just surrender, right? And that can be as easy as like stating it, their intention to surrender, okay? Wow. Did you see how many major arcanas are coming out here? A lot, okay? So we have balance, all right? The need for balance and moderation, cooperation, and compromise. Wait for the perfect timing. You guys, you guys are feeling very impatient with the process. I get it. You guys want it to move faster, but trust that the divine universe, it's so smart. It's so intelligent. It's so perfect. Okay. And even though you may be like, you know, this is how I saw it on this timeline and all of this, there's some things that are out of your point of view, and there's some things that are going to come in divine timing. And there's definitely a fear of like having to be patient coming up here. And I get that, right? It's like if things don't happen on this certain timeline, but time is an illusion. And the most beautiful aspect of this path is being able to find peace in any sort of situation or circumstance that we may find ourselves in. There is no greater freedom than that. There really isn't, you guys. And that's what it's kind of saying here. We're focusing on the destination. We're focusing on the approval of others when really there's beauty surrounding your life right now. And by focusing, maybe it's not exactly how you want it to look, right? You're working toward that. Things take time. But by you focusing on the beauty and being grateful for all of the things that are around you right now, it then puts you in that feminine receiving mode energy, allowing more blessings to magnetize. Is that the right? I don't know if that's the right word. Their way to you. Okay? All right. Oh, wow. We have the Queen and King of Pentacles here. Wow. You know, again, I know we just went through a whole lesson here, right? And my ego was even getting offended, so I get it. But the divine is coming through again, saying, yes, we acknowledge how amazing you are, how responsible, practical, generous, and professional that you have become. That's who you've worked hard to become. Focus on that and trust yourself. This says a successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered, and the Midas touch, right? Like if you move away from focusing on this energy that we just discussed and focused on the beauty and how far you've come, everything you touch is going to turn to gold. Right now is a time to focus on your own stability, financial stability, inner stability, emotional stability, all of that. And that's where the divine really wants you to focus your attention. Okay, you have a lot of blessings, a lot of success coming to you, and the divine is definitely, right? Like the divine is coming in here and giving you that acknowledgement, right? Public recognition, right? An award. But it may not happen in your third dimensional reality at this time. Okay, so moving past the need for that is very important, and focusing on how far you've come and the blessings that are coming into your life is where it's at right now. This has been a great message, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys soon. Namaste and God bless.